Gaurav, you know, when you speak of India and Japan, one needs to also address or rather speak on the fact that India and Japan are a part of the Quad. Given the current circumstances that we are witnessing, would you say this meeting may also have an underlying power struggle between the two blocs, given that the first particular point that's been raised by the Russian president the minute he's landed in Tianjin is speak about BRICS and how BRICS is becoming more and more important in the region?
Oh, undoubtedly. But you notice one thing, whether it's Quad, India is central to Quad. Whether it's BRICS, a founding member of the BRICS, whether it's the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a very critical member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So there may be very diverse groupings and of very divergent views. The central message everywhere, virtually in every group, is the significance or rising importance of India. Do keep in mind, India is the fastest growing large economy in the world, and engaging with India becomes important for everybody. Now, as far as BRICS is concerned, America is very worried about the rise of BRICS. While the Chinese and the Russians are talking about a common currency or a BRICS currency, India is very clear. As of now, there is no talk of de-dollarization, point one. Point two, strengthening BRICS, very significant, as some argue, even more powerful than the G7 group of nations. It is, the world's largest segment of population coming together from this region, largest economies coming from this region. When this grouping was formed, so initially it was Brazil, Russia, India, China, then South Africa joined later, and then more countries are not only joining, but more countries want to join this grouping, and that show how important BRICS as a grouping is, making even America very uncomfortable. At the same time, India is central to Quad. The Quad summit was to take place in India last year, but since it was Joe Biden, his tenure as president of the United States was ending, he wanted to host the Quad summit in the United States of America. So Quad, India's hosting happened in the United States of America last year. India is the host this year, but given the uncertainty around Quad, there are three members who are strong: India, Australia, and Japan. While America is very strong, but given the current trade tensions between the two countries, will they move forward in that direction? It depends. India wants a very strong bonding with every country. Does America want to reciprocate? Remains the big question. May I also quickly add here, even when you look at India-America relations, there are three very important prongs to that relationship. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi had gone to the United States of America in February, when Donald Trump swearing in was over, there were three major parts or prongs of that compact between India and the United States of America when they talked of a bilateral trade agreement in some form by fall. Trade was one aspect, technology was the second, and strategic and defense cooperation was the third. So strategic and defense cooperation going strong, joint exercises are happening. India is talking about inking a $1 billion fighter jet engine deal for the G404 engines with the United States. High technology cooperation is happening in terms of a satellite and NASA and ISRO cooperation. That's happening. Trade is the only one which is bringing this relationship down. But will it bring it down to the extent that the overall strategic partnership suffers? Well, the ball is in America's court. But overall, BRICS is strong, SCO remains a very important grouping, and Quad is something that India is very keen on with other countries, as long as there's no one country dictating rules of engagement to others, and India is too strong a country for America to dictate terms to India too. That's something that India is very clear about.
That is where India has always been very vocal about the requirement of a multipolar world order. That is where it comes in. Gaurav, I would also want to in fact just quickly bring in a breaking news here before I proceed with you, wherein reports have come out to say that Trump may in fact skip the Quad visit to India. This is big breaking coming in, viewers, that we're bringing to you. That reports have suggested Donald Trump may be skipping the Quad visit to India. You know, Gaurav, we were just speaking of the Quad summit in India. Now reports are suggesting that Trump may be skipping Quad. How are we looking at this very particular development? And if this indeed is to play out to be true in the upcoming days, what does it say about the India-US relations at this given point, given that it's already been quite affected in the negative aspect with the tariff war, with the trade war that is currently underway?
So there were some reports that seem to come from the United States of America. Are these just pressure tactics from the United States, or is he very serious that he wants to skip the Quad summit? President Trump will have to decide that. And then this would also indicate that the Indo-Pacific, as far as America is concerned, they are furiously backpedaling. If you recently noticed, even Caroline Levitt, the White House spokesperson, some days back used the word Asia-Pacific and not Indo-Pacific. And Indo-Pacific was a term which was specifically coined when America did this pivot to Asia and said India is very central to that pivot to Asia. So, strategic affairs analysts, they were noticing these subtle changes happening, and that seemed to indicate that America is backpedaling on the issue. And is this because America also realizes that they'd rather focus, one, inward, two, on trade, and three, it's a huge loss of face for US President Donald Trump in case he wants India to say that yes, he ensured the ceasefire and that he had a critical role to play, and then recommend him for a Nobel Peace Prize. In a way, the way other countries have kowtowed to America, if he expected India to kowtow to him and India did not, and he's taken this personally, and that's impacting the relationship overall, then that would just indicate that India will have to ride out this storm in more ways than one for the next 3.5 years. And while India does enjoy bipartisan support in the US Congress, will we actually see America backpedal on some of these aspects? We still do not know. A lot of this pans out. And also with Trump, he may say a lot and not mean it, and he may not say much and yet mean it. So we do not know. He may say, I'm backing out now, or indicate he's backing out, and later, if there's a deal, and he may come again. With him, it's each day you deal with it differently. There are some American analysts who've also said there's a term in trade called taco Trump, and that's Trump always chickens out. If you stand up to him, he chickens out. So will he chicken out? Or since it's so vocal, so open, the loss of face is so apparent, and India standing up has been noticed by the entire world, then we may have to ride out the storm for the next 3 years. But do keep in mind, when we were covering the Kargil War of 1999 and the Pokhran test of 1998, we saw American sanctions. And I was reporting in 1998-99 how the entire Sea King and Sea Harrier fleet of the Indian Air Force and Indian Navy, the Sea King's helicopters of the Indian Navy, the Sea Harrier aircraft of the Indian Navy, the entire fleet was grounded because America and England refused to give us spares during the sanctions. However, India was able to ride out that storm, and then the relationship was built with next step in strategic partnership and civil nuclear deal and comprehensive partnership. It's almost like reinventing the wheel, or that wheel, it goes up, it comes down, and then it goes up again. But India is able to ride out, and in each case, India emerges stronger. We've emerged stronger from 1999 to 2025. Even if things go, are not on an even keel right now, they will ultimately ensure that India emerges stronger even through hardships and develops other relationships and partnerships.